The court, as expected, rejected the president's argument that he could end birthright citizenship on his own, but he is not giving up. The cheers outside the Supreme Court when the ruling came in, a 6-3 decision that birthright citizenship cannot be ended by President Trump's executive order. Writing for the majority, Chief Justice John Roberts invoked the rights of citizens, writing, "The framers of the 14th Amendment extended that promise to every freeborn person in this land."
It's just a preposterous ruling.
Vice President J.D. Vance expressed White House frustration, but the administration isn't throwing in the towel.
We actually have an opportunity to reverse this decision, just as we've reversed so many bad decisions throughout the generations.
And to that end, President Trump posted on Truth Social, Congress should start today to work on ending expensive and unfair to our country birthright citizenship. They will have my complete and total support.
We're looking at that. We need to address the issue as quickly and as efficiently as we can.
House Speaker Mike Johnson promised to consider that, but as a constitutional law attorney, he also sounded skeptical. And after yesterday's ruling, nothing short of a new amendment to the Constitution may be needed to change the law.
To deal with birthright citizenship, you're going to have to change the Constitution. We've never had that debate, and maybe we should. I'm not too sure how it would turn out.
But we have seen the numbers really shift on this through the years, with clear majorities now supporting birthright citizenship. In Washington, Doug Luzader, Fox News.
President Trump took in nearly $1.2 billion from his crypto businesses last year, a federal filing shows. Trump got more than $500 million from his World Liberty financial business, selling new crypto products, including governance tokens, while another crypto business took in more than $600 million from sales of meme coins. The mainstay real estate business also boomed last year. The disclosure form paints a stark, if incomplete, picture of the massive growth of Trump's wealth since taking office last January through a web of business interests.
Mr. President, your financial disclosure shows you had a very lucrative year last year. What message does this send to average Americans, especially those
I don't get involved in my personal. We have funds that run my money.
But you are benefiting.
Well, I've made a lot of money before I became president, and they invest my money, and I don't talk to them. I don't even speak to them. So I have many people, I don't know what they call it, closed accounts or something. You put your money in, and that's it. I don't talk to them. They're big institutions, and they run it. But yeah, I've had a great career. In business, I've had a great career.
Concerns about conflict of interest?
I don't know if I've had a better career in politics or business, but I had a great career in business. And, you saw the cash. And you report the different things. And what they do is, we gave it, I think it's called a blind account, but they take it. And I never speak to any of the people that run the money, but they're at big institutions, and they invest in whatever they invest in.
But the critics say you're profiting off the presidency.
Well, you know why I'm profiting? Because the stock market's going up. Everybody's profiting. If you have a 401k, how's your 401k done? It's about up 85%. Thank you, President Trump. So we're all profiting. I'm profiting because I have a lot of money and a lot of cash, and I give it to institutions. I don't know if they know what they're doing or not, but they buy a vast array of things.
The U.S. strike on an Iranian school on February 28th was one of the deadliest for children in decades, according to Air Wars, a research group that studies airstrike campaigns. But still, we don't have a full picture of what happened on the ground. The AP reconstructed the series of events, and here's what we found. Human rights groups say that the moments before the strike were filled with panic. The school's morning classes had been interrupted by the news that the US and Israel had begun a bombing campaign on Iran. The teachers and administrators at the school, which was established to serve children from families closely tied to Iran's paramilitary Revolutionary Guard, but was also attended by local students, found themselves inside a building packed with hundreds of children, just a wall away from a guard compound. As the country's internet connection wavered, staff speed-dialed parents, asking them to come pick up their children as soon as possible. Some parents raced to the school and managed to get there in time to pick up their kids. Others got there just as the US missiles began to fall on the compound and the school. Some were killed along with school teachers, administrators, and over 120 boys and girls under the age of 13, according to Air Wars. Many bodies were buried under pounds of rubble. Some were dug out and identified, but others would remain missing for months. President Donald Trump said he'd seen nothing to make him believe that the U.S. had carried out the strike. The Pentagon has yet to release the results of an investigation it vowed to carry out, even though clues are emerging about the failures. A U.S. official told the AP that the military had evidence almost immediately following the strike that the site of the school had been struck. The same official said that even though the building housing the school was identified as such by an analyst years ago, that information was not made more widely known across U.S. intelligence and military agencies. The strike was the deadliest reported in the U.S.-Israeli war against Iran.
The denuclearization of Iran is moving along well. They've had very good meetings, and we'll see.
We'll see has become the motto for negotiations with Iran as U.S. envoys Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner begin day 2 of talks with the Qataris to work out misunderstandings on the initial deal.
You have a track on the nuclear side, you have a track on the economic and Strait of Hormuz issue, you have a track on security and the regional securities.
The meetings follow breaks in the ceasefire after the U.S. and Iran exchanged tit-for-tat strikes last week. Now Iran is trying to reassert its control over the Strait of Hormuz and is reportedly insisting on collecting tolls, a red line for the U.S.
In the Memorandum of Understanding, the principal deal was the Straits of Hormuz gets open, we shut down our naval blockade. And they violated that immediately.
And the clock is ticking. The Iranians now have 46 days to make a final deal and abandon their nuclear ambitions, or President Trump could return to war. The vice president is managing expectations.
We see some positive signs. Obviously, we see some negative signs. What the president has told us is work the problem, see where the negotiation is going to lead, and if it doesn't lead to a successful resolution on the diplomatic side, we still have a lot of optionality.
According to the Wall Street Journal, President Trump recently considered abandoning nuclear talks and resuming the fighting, but he's sticking to diplomacy for now. In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
Well, really excited. First of all, to have a Team USA game here in the Bay Area is really, really exciting. To be coming into the knockout round with a really good shot to advance is really exciting, and really just exciting to see all the fans here in the Bay Area from all across the world.
Excitement is 11 out of 10. Been waiting for this moment for my whole life, basically. And I think we're going to get a win, for sure. I was nervous before the tournament based on, the political stuff, but it seems like once the game started, everyone's happy and having a good time, and everyone's, enjoying each other.
I'm hyped. I mean, our record against European clubs or European nations are not that fantastic right now, but I'm hopeful. I actually went to the last 2 USA games, the one in LA and the one in Seattle, so I'm kind of, all my life savings are going towards this right now, but I'm hopeful.
I'm really excited to actually see the U.S. in a World Cup game. I've never seen the U.S. play a World Cup game. The atmosphere is so fantastic in Kansas City, and it's going to be that was other teams, neutral countries that I don't even have a connection to. So I'm expecting it to be an amazing atmosphere for the U.S.
Allez, bleu! Mbappe just unstoppable today. 2 goals, could have had 3. He had 1 called off early in the first. The sky's the limit for this team. Confident. We're winning gold this year.
I feel amazing. This is the best day of my life. I've dreamed about coming to the World Cup. This is my shirt from '98 that my dad gave me, and it means everything to be here.
Let's go! All good. Good friends, good game.
Good football, a little defeated, but good football. Yeah, for sure. Got to see some greats play,
Allez, bleu! Mbappe just unstoppable today. 2 goals, could have had 3. He had 1 called off early in the first. The sky's the limit for this team. Confident. We're winning gold this year.
I feel amazing. This is the best day of my life. I've dreamed about coming to the World Cup. This is my shirt from '98 that my dad gave me, and it means everything to be here.
Let's go! Come the pool! All good. Good friends, good game.
Good football, a little defeated, but good football. Yeah, for sure. Got to see some greats play, you know?
Well, the tournament's going to just supercharge the enrollment of the number of kids that are going to want to play soccer. So we would expect to see in the in the fall season a real serious uptick in the number of kids that are choosing to play soccer versus other sports. And so that's happened previously when there's major sporting event, and it's not just soccer related. It's really any major event like this that draws a younger audience and sort of captures their attention.
They've become soccer fans, but they were more into the traditional. Like my mom played volleyball and tennis, like those were her main things. So, I mean, soccer, I'm the first person to play.
The number one biggest driver of adults being fans of a team or a league is whether or not they played the sport growing up. So, so the more kids that get pulled into the sport when they're young, the more of them will end up being lifelong fans of the sport and actually continue to consume the sport as adults. So it's all the way around a good thing for the sport in our country. Soccer is unique in the sense that you develop those motor skills of being able to really control the ball with your feet when you're 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. And so it's not a sport where you can come in at 10 or 11. And I mean, you can come in and you can still be a good player. In fact, I didn't start playing myself till I was 12. So you can still, be a good player, but you'll never be able to be the level of player you could be if you start with the ball at your foot when you're 2.
Even though the World Cup 2026 match is happening miles away from the Ballard Boys and Girls Club, because of this opportunity, all of these kids feel connected to the game.
Picture this scene, just much bigger.
It's going to be really interesting to be looking up at that many people.
Thousands, there's going to be 70,000 people there, so a little nervous, but also I think it'll be cool. Imagine looking around and you just see all these people looking down on you.
Sinai Sampson and Chip Dubois have been a part of the Boys and Girls Clubs for almost as long as they can remember.
I went there with my sister, and I remember just missing my mom a lot.
11 years ago, so I'm getting pretty old, but I just moved from Minnesota, so I didn't really know anyone.
Sinai and Chip tell me they've made lasting friendships, and now, thanks to the Boys and Girls Clubs, they will create a memory that lasts a lifetime.
I'm happy that I will be able to experience it because this might not happen again.
Chip, Sinai, as well as 4 other members of the Boys and Girls Clubs of King County will take the pitch Wednesday as flag bearers, standing among world-renowned players as well as tens of thousands of fans in Seattle Stadium.
Are you having fun? Huh? Are we too old to play?
This is a lot more tiring than I thought.
For a decade, the Boys and Girls Clubs of King County have been a major part of Chip and Sinai's lives.
They call me Junior Messi.
They tell me they're happy to represent an organization in front of the world that meant so much to them growing up.
Like I said, back when I was 5, I made friends that I'm still friends with to this day, and I keep going back.
It's just a good way to socialize with people and meet new people, because that's really important, to know people in your community.
More than 2,200 Link NYC kiosks to display real-time directions to the nearest NYC cooling center.
Leaders from New York to Nashville taking measures to keep people safe as a potentially deadly heat dome closes in on half the country.
We are also launching a fleet of 15 never-before-used cooling outreach on-location vans.
Half of all Americans are facing a long stretch of dangerously hot temperatures as they head outdoors to celebrate the country's 250th Independence Day. Many areas will see back-to-back days of temperatures in the mid-90s to low 100s, plus humidity. On the East Coast, cities like New York could get hotter than they've been in more than a decade. And it's not just the daytime high temperatures. The heat will be long-lasting and won't relent when the sun goes down, leaving little cool-down time for those without proper cooling or hydration. Officials are asking residents to look out for one another.
Pay extra attention to older adults and children and those living alone or without reliable air conditioning. Our houses without air conditioning are going to get really hot.
As the oppressive heat bears down, community members are stepping up. A restaurant owner in Chicago donating dozens of air conditioners to people struggling to stay cool.
It's not something that's really changing a life, but it's just helping make their lives a little easier.
I'm Reed Binion reporting.
A dip in the pool was a common sight Tuesday as kids and parents alike try to cool themselves down. The Resch Aquatic Center in Green Bay was the hot spot to hang out.
It was really hot, so we decided to go to a pool with my friends, and we were at a different beach yesterday, so we decided to come try this one out.
From a trip down the water slide to just jumping in, the blistering hot temperatures meant taking in as much cool pool water as possible.
Pretty important so we don't overheat and get sick or something, so that we're just cooled off.
While swimming is one way to beat the heat, others were able to take advantage of the now air-conditioned historic Bay Beach Pavilion, thanks to a recent $950,000 renovation. Amusement park staff and families are able to use this space as a cooling center.
Whether you're spending a 15-minute break from the park or you need to come here for an hour, plug in your laptop to get some work done in a cool space, we are happy to have you here.
Green Bay Communications Director Michael Bergman says the cooling center will stay open during the day for as long as the heat wave continues. He says the 300-guest capacity pavilion may even become a permanent place to cool down throughout the summer. Not only is the heat uncomfortable, but it can also be dangerous.
Heat-related illness is one of our most deadly weather-related emergencies that we experience in the United States, but thankfully at the same time it's also highly preventable.
Dr. Brad Burmeister of Amplify Health by Bell in Green Bay says the best thing to do is to drink plenty of water, avoid alcohol, and take breaks if you're outside. Symptoms to watch out for include dizziness, extreme thirst, confusion, fatigue, and slurred speech. Back at the Resch Aquatic Center, swimmers like Nora Wickman say she doesn't mind the heat, since it's an excuse to head to the pool.
I'm really happy because it's been pretty cool in the 70s, so I'm really happy for the hot weather.
The key is to prepare your pets before those first fireworks go off, as the 5th of July is all too often one of the busiest days of the year for the Pet Resource Center in Hillsborough County.
Fireworks on the 4th of July are an American tradition, although not everyone is a fan of these big booms.
Dogs and cats don't understand that it's a celebration noise. It's just a big, scary noise to them.
Samantha Glazier is a vet at the Pet Resource Center in Hillsborough County. Nearly 700% above capacity, it's overflowing with cats and kittens, as they're performing nearly 60 surgeries a day.
We're moving as fast as we can surgery-wise because everything needs a rabies vaccine, a microchip, and needs to be spayed or neutered before we leave.
We asked Juan Ramos what would happen if an influx of dogs and cats ends up at the shelter following the 4th.
It'd be a pretty bad situation. I'd try to coerce you right now on taking 5 cats to foster at home, right?
As you get geared up to celebrate America's 250th birthday, Ramos reminded us that now is the time to prepare your pets.
If your pet's not microchipped, get them microchipped. If they are microchipped, make sure that your information is up to date.
If your animal is already on anti-anxiety medication, vets say it's best to refill their prescription days in advance and start working on your bunker plan. It's that safe, cozy spot at home that might mask the sound of fireworks.
Provide a safe and secure place for your pet to hide, especially if you know if your animal is afraid of fireworks.
The Hillsborough County Pet Resource Center typically takes in 5 to 6 dogs a day following the 4th. They say it's best to prepare now so your pet isn't one of them. Reporting in Tampa, Blake Devine, Fox 13 News.
Drivers should expect to see more state troopers and commercial vehicle enforcement officers on Georgia roads during the Independence Day holiday travel period. It begins at 6 Thursday evening and continues through midnight Sunday.
We need everybody who's traveling the roadways of Georgia to look out for each other and give a little grace.
AAA estimates more than 61 million people will travel by car during the holiday weekend. Public safety officials say distracted driving continues to be one of their biggest safety concerns.
We see it day in and day out where distracted driving causes crashes every single day.
Last year, the Department of Public Safety responded to nearly 320 traffic crashes during the 4th of July holiday. Those crashes resulted in 200 injuries, 10 fatalities, and nearly 500 DUI arrests.
If you choose to drive, don't be under the influence. That is a nightmare for us. Call a ride share, get an Uber, get a Lyft, find a friend, do anything. If you are under the influence, do not drive, because we want you to arrive safely and we don't want you to hurt anybody else's family.
State troopers also remind drivers to give semi-trucks extra space, especially when passing, because large trucks have significant blind spots.
If you try to pass on the right, they can't see you. They have blind spots, and that's just extremely dangerous.
Annie Mapp, Fox 5 News.
Booster ignition and liftoff.
The Artemis II crew captivated the world with their miraculous journey in images from space. If their mission sparked your curiosity about the world beyond our world, there are plenty of places to visit, and you don't need a spaceship to get there.
There is so much excitement around space exploration right now.
Emily Kaufman, known as the Travel Mom, came up with a list of great places to visit that are also family-friendly. Our first stop on our journey to space, Merritt Island, Florida, the Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex.
Every single day, you can have a meet and greet with a NASA astronaut.
You can even fly with an astronaut on the shuttle launch experience. There are multiple attractions for a wide variety of ages, including a Fraggle Rock character show for toddlers. And if you have an aspiring astronaut in your family, there's a great camp for teens at the Advanced Space Academy in Huntsville, Alabama.
There's a place completely dedicated to getting kids excited about the future of space.
Campers undergo real astronaut training exercises. You have to be 15 to 18 to sign up. Next, take a trip to Texas to see the Space Center Houston.
NASA Houston also has all kinds of immersive programs with a museum and an interactive show.
The museum is great for kids of all ages, and you can even pay extra to have breakfast with an astronaut. Los Angeles is home to the California Science Center, which is getting a major addition. In November, a new 200,000 square foot space center will open. It will feature hands-on exhibits, aerospace objects, and several interactive experiences focused on science and engineering. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
There's no specific test that can diagnose multiple sclerosis. Instead, doctors use what's called the McDonald criteria, a set of guidelines that can help rule out or confirm the disease.
So multiple sclerosis is a condition that is very treatable.
Dr. Daniel Antoneda with Cleveland Clinic says there are more than 24 approved medications that can help control multiple sclerosis symptoms and limit disabilities. But he says the disease starts years before the first attack, and the earlier patients start these treatments, the better they respond.
One of the things that we have to focus on is making sure that we get the diagnosis done early and accurately.
In an effort to do that, the McDonald criteria was updated in 2024, allowing doctors to give an MS diagnosis by using MS-specific biomarkers and MRIs to find early evidence of the disease.
We can be pretty confident that a person has MS, even if they haven't yet developed classical or typical symptoms of multiple sclerosis.
In this study, Antoneda and others found about 1 in 5 people they studied in the U.S. who wouldn't have met criteria for MS with the old guidelines were able to be diagnosed accurately and early under the updated criteria, allowing for treatment sooner.
It completely changes the panorama of what that individual's life will look like.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Did I just make you blush? Oh, Joe, that's adorable.
No, I'm not blushing. I haven't blushed
I didn't take
ever.
you for a blusher.
Because I'm not.
Here's your first look at Timothée Chalamet's animated feature film debut, Not Alone. He stars as a rocket mechanic trying to help 3 alien visitors get back home. Selena Gomez also lends her voice to the sci-fi comedy, which blasts into theaters next April.
Oh my God, this is so gorgeous!
Olivia Rodrigo is building her legacy brick by brick. Literally. She's now officially the first musician ever to get a multi-set Lego collection. The 5 new sets, out in August, feature everything from her signature concert moon to a buildable guitar.
3 decades. It's a hell of a long time.
We've only seen little snippets of Mark Harmon as Gibbs in recent years, but that's about to change. He'll be reprising his famous NCIS role in every episode of the upcoming season of NCIS Origins. Harmon will appear in a storyline tied to Gibbs' time at Camp Pendleton in the 90s. In Hollywood, I'm Douglas Hyde.
So you bend and snap. See?
Remember Elle Woods, the spunky lawyer played by Reese Witherspoon in the Legally Blonde movies? What if we got to see what she was like in high school? It's the premise of a new coming-of-age comedy on Prime Video. So where did this idea come from?
Came from Reese Witherspoon. She was really, I think, feeling that the world needed a little more Elle Woods, and in particular that this next generation of young women could use some Elle in their lives. So she said, what if we took Elle Woods back to high school? And the rest is history.
Elle, we're moving to Seattle.
How long will that be?
A couple of years.
That's my whole life.
Hey, hey.
Stepping into Elle's shoes is Lexi Mindtree, who says she watched the original Legally Blonde 150 times to prepare for the role. She also got some great insights into Elle from Witherspoon, who was an executive producer on the show.
Something Reese said about that was that even after people have hurt her or judged her, she never goes low. She always goes high. And that's something that I really wanted to take with me, because I think at the heart of Elle Woods is her kindness. And even people who are mean to her.
And the people who are mean to her this time are Seattle high schoolers dripping with 90s grunge attitude.
Did no one ever tell you that we don't do posers here? Seattle isn't a costume, and pink isn't a personality.
Can this pink-clad LA girl win them over? And will Gen Z audiences relate to a series set in a 1995 analog world?
I'm Gen Z. We're all Gen Z. And I think that a lot of our generation is yearning for that nostalgia and tactileness and connectedness.
In Hollywood, I'm Douglas Hyde.
We watched it erupt in a fireball in the night. Now we're getting a peek at the comeback. It's been just more than a month since Blue Origin's New Glenn rocket exploded, decimating Launch Complex 36 at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station in Florida. While the company says the cause is still under investigation, it's announcing it'll try again by the end of this year with a redesigned launch pad. Releasing a video showing renderings of what it'll look like once completed, saying they'll use a new horizontal-vertical integration, which means putting the rocket together at a horizontal integration facility, then using a crane to lift it into vertical position where the final payload is placed on top, making it ready for launch. An ambitious effort for a decade-long documentation of the night sky is underway. The Vera C. Rubin Observatory in Chile has begun what it calls its Legacy Survey of Space and Time. It's a 10-year survey of the southern sky using the observatory's 3,200 megapixel camera, the largest digital camera on Earth, with the stated goal of creating an ultra-wide, ultra-high definition time-lapse record of our universe. Each point in the sky will be photographed 800 times during the survey. Researchers hope that data will unlock mysteries of the distant universe. Under the cover of the night sky, a bear took a jaunt around an Oregon town. Its presumed search for a snack interrupted by a police officer's bright spotlight. For the next few minutes, following along as the bear sauntered down the road, even making sure the wild animal didn't dart out into the road. Eventually, video shows the officer able to corral the black bear and escort it to a nearby river where it would be safer. For Take a Look at This, I'm Patrick Cornell.
Meet the Betsy Ross for the country's 250th birthday. This is Inez Cruz, a seamstress for the flag store who's making a flag 20 feet by 30 feet, an order that came in from Los Angeles earlier this week. Draped in red and white material, the flag is in 2 pieces, which she will put together later. She's mostly interested in seams to prevent fraying.
No, dile que no es difícil.
It's not hard for her to do this, she says. Typically, Inez works with 3 other seamstresses, but when the demand for flags is double of what it was a year ago, 2 more seamstresses were added. All of the American flags you see out on the showroom floor were made back here. Late last year, the 250 logo was added. This Betsy Ross style, 3 foot by 5 foot, is the most popular.
Basically, the first thing we had to do was to get licensed by the 250 Commission, which allowed us to produce the America 250 flags right here at our location, to basically say everything was made in America, from the fabric to the thread to the grommets, everything was made in America.
6761 is going to be your total there.
From bunting to banners, they all have red, white, and blue, along with the 250 emblem. Smith suspects the crowds will keep on coming even after the 4th. For those who have never gotten into the spirit before, there are lawn signs, flag poles, and an ornament to go on top. David Barnmore has a flag and pole. The Northern Nevada afternoons have him concerned.
I've been to this store at least 3 times already, and the system there where I live at, the wind is really bad, and it just tears my flags up. It tears up the poles, and my neighbors across the street are like laughing at me, because their flag just goes, Yeah.
Smith says while you can get these small American flags on wooden sticks, the 250 version is not available.
Those were extremely popular. They're all gone.
Fox 54 Plus has your news, sports, and weather. Start your evening with Fox 54 at 5:30, delivering the latest headlines and live reports straight from the scene. Then, stay informed with Fox 54 News at 9, featuring your Tennessee Valley certified most accurate weather impact team, tracking everything from tornado threats to traffic delays during severe weather. Fox 54 Sports Extra brings you more of what sports fans crave, with deeper insights, expert analysis, and all the action that matters most. On Fox 54 Plus, you'll also find Alabama politics, plus 24/7 weather radar and real-time forecasts to keep you ahead of the storm. Looking for a quick recap? Don't miss Fox 54 Week in Review, highlighting the biggest stories of the week. Jumpstart your morning with Morning Rush. Fast-paced news updates, featured with uplifting stories from across the globe. Get your entertainment fix with Getting Real, where we break down movie reviews, top 10 lists, and spotlight the newest film. Die Hard fan? Locked On Sports dives deep into the Crimson Tide, the Tigers, college rivalries, and pro action. True Crime Warrior Style? Killer Cases brings you gripping real-life stories that stick with you. Hungry for more? Cooking with Style serves up mouth-watering recipes that are easy to make and impossible to resist. From movie previews before you head to the theater with Take a Look, to must-know headlines from across the region and around the world with In the News. Watch all of these shows on demand and also on the Fox 54 News app. Available on Android and iOS devices. Streaming 24/7.
There's more to Fox 54 Plus with the Locked On Podcast Network. From the Tide to the Tigers, from college teams to pro, The Locked On Podcast Network gives you insights and analysis you just can't find anywhere else.
These kids, they want to play.
And I don't think so. I think it was Chad Baker-Mazzara.
Locked On Sports, streaming every day of the week and right here on Fox 54 Plus.
Your wife is in a bar. You said she's unresponsive.
This is what he's going to tell you.
Trying to find the first place to put a body. No, sir.
The only thing they could do was kill him.
Be the jury and to find the defendant